Breathe. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
You gotta invent things to bitch about. You haven't got a single thing on this earth to do except for your hair. Yeah, your closet was fine. You just needed something to take up your useless, empty, nail polishing, toe polishing, rich bitch sun tanning day.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
All alone.
We're all alone.
For our postponed Mother's Day
I know.
episode.
We pushed and we pushed and we pushed and we pushed, and now this episode is out.
Yeah. So Mother's Day was last week.
Yeah.
So if you forgot, oops.
Here
we
you
weren't
are.
here to warn you.
I know. You'd think as mothers that it's like the stereotype that we're better at scheduling, but we're not.
Well, and we put our own needs behind the needs of others, and it was 16 Candles' birthday. So
it was right. Instead of forgetting our child's birthday,
we pushed our Mother's Day episode back.
Exactly.
Because we're talking about Overboard,
where a woman is forced to be a mother,
tricked into becoming a mother, and yet, while we're going to be reading a lot of this. To crime,
by the end,
not just to filth.
It's
crimes.
Oh, it's crimes. Crimes. Wee.
We still root for.
Oh, I know. At the end,
couple.
I told you. I was like, oh.
I have 2 I cried notes.
Yes.
I
know.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, God.
Because, of course, this stars Goldie Hawn as Joanna / Annie.
Joanna Slayton, right?
Yeah.
Or Annie Proffitt.
Yes.
As it were. And real life partner Kurt Russell as Dean Proffitt.
And so I think we were talking about before, I think we excused the crimes because you knew they were a real life couple.
I know. I love it.
And you love them.
I love it. That's why I said I explained to you earlier. Like, I know you shouldn't do this, but I have always like that parasocial relationship where I just kind of I project things on them, and if they've got problems, I don't want to fucking know about it.
Right.
I love if they split up, if they like go their separate ways.
Apocalypse begins.
A dark day. Probably that's the
third
final. Or fourth horseman. I feel like
pretty sure. Mm-hmm. And it's because they never got married,
right?
That's what kept them together. They're still boyfriend and girlfriend.
I know.
Can you imagine like 40 years and you're still boyfriend and girlfriend?
I'm
they
sure
probably don't call each other that, but
no,
maybe
they probably just maybe they do.
I have no idea.
Maybe they do.
I have next Katherine Helmond or Mona as Edith Mintz, Goldie Hawn's mom.
I had her next after Edward Herrmann as Grant Slayton III.
Mm-hmm. Mike Haggerty as Billy Pratt.
Roddy McDowell as Andrew.
Jared Rushton as Charlie.
So did you see it was introducing all the boys?
Oh, was it? No, I didn't.
It said introducing all the boys, and I didn't go back and look it up if this was actually Jared Rushton's first.
I feel like it wasn't.
Remember that time
when was
we met
Lady
him?
in White? Oh, yeah. You guys, we met Jared Rushton.
One time.
But we weren't allowed to
No, we weren't.
We weren't allowed to be
fine
all
and it's
fan
fair. It's fine
girl.
and it's fair. Fine,
He
whatever.
doesn't
but
do
like,
that anymore. He doesn't act anymore. He's in a band. Well, I don't know if he's still. This was how many
this
years
was
ago?
Like 20 years
yeah,
ago.
this was
almost.
a long time ago. At a record store,
Almost.
his band was playing locally, and we went to go check it out. And but we were told,
right, to keep it cool. Because I was like, holy shit,
don't bring
fucking
up
Pet Sematary
big.
2. Well, no, I wouldn't have. I would have brought up Pet Sematary 2.
Yes,
or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh,
when I had like a massive crush on him.
I had a crush on both him
both
and
of
his
them.
older brother.
I know.
They were both such cuties.
Because that was the thing, is that I had a big old crush on Jared Rushton when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So.
The other brothers were Jeffrey Wiseman as Joey, the little Pee Wee Herman one.
He's so cute.
He is. Brian Price as Travis, or Roy, as she calls him.
Roy.
And Jamie Wilde as Greg. And I feel like that kid was such an actor.
Oh, he was an actor. tour.
I meant to go, and we don't have a research assistant.
I know.
I meant to go look because I know other stuff Jared Rushton was in, but I'm sure I saw all these boys in other movies. I swear I did.
I feel like the littlest one and the older one too.
For sure.
Like. Well,
and
what
I
did
didn't
I
look
say
it
that
up.
the little one in the picture, like the
looks like the
poster?
Malcolm in the Middle kid.
Yeah, but I was like, but that couldn't possibly be the Malcolm in the Middle kid unless he had like a Webster's thing.
Right? He's not really a
He's
child
really
at all.
49.
Or you know what? He almost. Oh, it's not though. But he gives me the littlest kid in Monster Squad.
Yeah,
He's got that kind of vibe.
A little bit. Is it the?
I don't think it is. I just watched Monster Squad recently, and
because
it's
this
not
is
matching up.
introducing.
Right.
It said all these boys.
And Monster Squad was before this.
Oh,
I think it was like 84. 85.
Yeah, so it couldn't have been. Couldn't have been.
Fuck.
What year was
I'm
this?
a bad movie podcaster.
I know. Whatever. You love it. You fucking love it. What
I'm
year
just
was
not
this
good
again?
at it. This is 87.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And the only other person I have is Frank Campanella as Captain Carl.
Which they said something about, like, Captain Carl was kind of a nod to Captain Carl, like the Phil Hartman character.
Oh,
from
really?
Yeah, but I don't know why. I forget where I read that.
Huh.
I was reading. There was all kinds of shit, and I read it too early, and then I forget.
I know. We're getting too far ahead.
I know.
We
See,
should
that's
almost
the
just
problem.
take off next week because we're too far ahead.
Well,
Maybe
no,
we can
not
start
next
working
week. The
on
week
that.
after that, because why don't we just take off the week you're...
Isn't that next week?
Oh,
Because this is the last weekend of April.
that's right. That's right. I know, but then my husband's going to be all mad because we didn't take it off for like his birthday. But we didn't do anything. He won't
I
do
know.
anything.
He wanted to hang out with us and hang out at home and stuff.
Yeah,
So
watch the game, which is cool. Oh, by the way, I have to talk to you about June.
about June.
June, not the person, the month.
Yeah.
Scheduling wise,
Oh.
this man.
Okay.
Let me tell you about that
Okay.
after this.
I'll try to remember. So we open on the ocean.
On the sea where I don't want to be, but there's always these fucking movies where you get me out on the fucking water.
It's a big old yacht.
It's huge. It's a massive vessel. Maybe I wouldn't get sick
but
if it was big enough.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless there was a storm.
Well,
How they be tumbling out of bed and shit when she spin that wheel later.
You got to be sleeping with Prince Valium. That's what Mona was doing. I know it said it's Edith, but I'm not going to refer to her as
No,
such.
we
She's
will be
Mona.
referring to her as Mona.
Absolutely.
And so we get a docking montage. No, not like that. There's all these smaller boats, and they're all
Why
like,
couldn't
meh,
it be?
meh, like fishermen waving
Right.
and whatever.
And
So,
hot ass Kurt Russell's over there
Oh.
chainsaw sculpting and
Oh.
them little overalls and elk coat.
right off the bat. And we see the sign Elk Cove, Oregon, as he drives over to where this big yacht just
The
docked.
Immaculata.
Is that what the name
That
of it
was the name of the Immaculata.
Oh, I did not even see that.
So Joanna hired him to remodel her closet. And this
Yeah, he can hear her
French
bitching. Oh, God. That's beyond. I don't know what you call that.
French- Well, the first one was just a French cut. The other one was
She goes through
Brazilian.
3 to 5 bathing
oh my
suits
God,
in
these
this first.
epaulettes. I want this fucking poolside
This
look.
fucking
I do
outfit.
not want to be on a boat, but I want to wear these epaulettes.
It's insane. Everything
Where am
she
I gonna
owns
be?
is sequins.
We got to go to fucking Palm Springs and just wear shit like this. This is where you wear it.
That's where that's appropriate.
That is
yes. If
exactly
you're not
where
going to be
that's
on a
appropriate.
yacht, you got to be in Palm
Because
Springs.
I don't want to be on a yacht, but I'll be poolside. in
or
that
like
bitch.
in Florida or something. And I'm not going to Florida, so
No, I'll go to Palm Springs.
So yeah, this with the big statement jewel on the front of the bathing suit.
Oh, you think she's got like jewelry tan lines?
Probably. She has a burn from the fucking
Right?
light reflecting.
She is serving cunt.
And she has like almost has a tiara on.
I know
her
she's
hair
got,
clip
like, this
thing is
with,
like,
that really tight ponytail, a fucking tight ponytail.
and she so yeah, she hires him. She needs drawers for
It's
her
inadequate.
lingerie and shelves for her shoes.
Right,
There's
this
not enough
is
room.
Obviously, you could see that this is not enough.
And the butler, which is Roddy McDowell, comes in with her caviar.
What is this gelatinous muck?
And she describes the perfect caviar in this very
It
disgusting
should be
but
round and hard,
sexy
and
way.
adequate size, and it must burst in your mouth.
And Dean's tape measure, like, whoop.
Hello, caviar is gross,
I've never had it.
It's gross.
Never had it.
It's gross. I like some kinds of roe, which are also eggs.
If it's on sushi or whatever,
yeah. No, the little orange ones are good.
Yeah, those are fine.
But like that, like
the burst in your mouth kind. Oh, I wish you guys could see her face.
No.
I should hook up a little phone thing just to
see
just to like randomly catch clips of the reactions.
And it does. It's like because I also don't like boba.
Yeah,
I like
I'm not
tapioca,
a huge
but I don't
fan.
like boba.
I'm not a huge fan. I've had it once or twice, and it's like weird.
Like fish burst in your mouth. It's like the grunion are running on your tongue.
Isn't that happening now?
Right now.
Oh shit! We could be
should
out
go.
watching
we could go there
fish
right
fuck.
now. We could have it like jizzing on our feet right now.
That's such a Doom Generation type of field trip, though.
I
because
know,
we've
it
never
really is.
seen
Like,
it, but we heard it
we're gonna miss
1,000
it.
times.
I'm not going down there, but I'll go close enough.
To
I
see
ain't
some
touching
flopping.
it. I ain't touching it.
Go let them
You
fuck
can
on your
go.
feet.
You will. I won't.
I'm like, oh, it tickles.
She's gonna get in there.
It
She's gonna get a
tickles.
fucking grunion run facial. I'll be like,
Oh,
Nicole.
oh no!
That's so you know that it's her, not me.
She's all making sure because I know our voices sometimes sound alike. Got to be clear. So anyway, she tells Andrew to keep an eye on this guy, and she goes out to lie in the sun on the phone.
Oh my god, this other fucking look with that ponytail clip
And it's
on with the
nude
hat.
back to her bathing suit with this big bow on the
With
butt.
her nalgas out with like
Right?
the ponytail just covering her butt crack.
And that was a
like, yes,
thong,
bitch.
dong, dong, dong.
You remember him? You remember? I don't.
Oh,
Fucking name.
shit. Dong,
Skeezer.
dong.
What the fuck was his name?
Fuck. Who sang? Nope.
Not
Cisco.
Cisco. Yes.
Dong song.
We're like, who could forget? And then probably forgot.
Promptly. So he hears her bidding over the phone like $1 million on some shit.
Oh yeah, some art. She needs to have.
And her hubby is shooting skeet off the top of the yacht.
Ah, skeet.
And who was
motherfucker.
that?
Ah, skeet. Bitch.
It's hip hop quiz time
I
on
don't
Doom
know.
Generation. Don't know. Lil Jon? No.
I could tell you all the words to the song.
But I can't remember who sang it.
Thong song, know every fucking word. Da-da.
So Joanna comes in and catches Dean shirtless on his break. Oh,
Right? Eating them nibbles with his nipples.
Oh,
Using his
the
nipples. to eat
nipples
the nibbles.
out. And
He
she got
was
them.
eating like spam and crackers. You filthy motherfucker. You are poor and
He had no, it was
dirty.
food from their house.
Low brow. Oh,
Because she
probably
complained
fed him
later.
cat food.
She complained later that he like ate all their food while he was there.
He was probably eating the dregs of her
It looked like little
snacks.
cookies or little
It
pastries
looked like
or something.
Ritz, bitch.
Lunchables.
And fucking cat food or spam.
Over here trying to reach for my drink and it's way over here. I'm
What are
like,
you doing? She's miming.
It's
Are you doing
invisible.
mime? What are you doing? Are you trapped in a box?
no, I'm trapped without my beverage.
She's parched.
So she comes in her Hollywood sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. And it is. I feel like it is
Those same
the
sunglasses.
same ones that were in summer school
And
and the
he-
same ones that were in Mannequin.
and because she's got this thong and this nude back bathing suit, he sees her little strawberry birthmark up on her butt cheek.
But pretends not to see. But she came in there and threw her little thing off and like bent over. Come on.
Because you telling me you're not
This
responding to
design-
shirtless, sweaty Kurt Russell?
She's fucking Grant in this
Come on.
pleasure pit.
Ugh.
You're going to tell me she didn't once.
Well, no, he says later when
Look
he's
at
like, you
this
can't have your
sweaty
period
carpenter.
every month.
Well,
so
he
they're
does,
not
so
fucking
they're
that
not.
much.
I guess you're right. So she did not once cast a glance at this dirty tank top.
It doesn't look like she did, but
I
she had to
know.
have. Come on now.
My goodness.
So the next day or later or whatever, she's in yet another bathing suit
Yes.
and more fancy sunglasses.
They apparently live on the sea.
Well, and it seems like it's a temporary thing. Like, well, but I don't know. It's unclear.
Right. Like,
It's
I don't
not-
ever see.
They're
You only
just
see the
going around the
mothers.
world in the yacht or something.
I mean, I guess you could. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what.
don't
Well,
know.
because they stopped there because
Something happened to the
There's
engine.
engines,
Yeah.
and then she wants
And
to
she
get
wanted
it
that
remodeled
closet.
while they
Yeah.
were there. So yeah,
Well, and why would she? And that doesn't make no sense.
no.
The way as bougie as she is, she's
'Cause
going to
she's
hire
bored.
a carpenter she's never met in what she considers a podunk little backwoods town.
It is a service person that she could abuse
and
because
not
she's-
even be specific about what she wants. Just say drawers and shelves.
right. And then, but the whole civilized world knows
They're made of
cedar.
So yeah, so she's getting her toes painted by
Yes.
Andrew on the deck while Grant is now shooting arrows.
Yeah.
And Dean overhears them talking shit about him.
Mm-hmm.
And that she just I didn't write down all the shit that she says about him.
Did I?
I don't know.
They're out there talking shit about Dean. Nope. And the engines have been repaired. So now they come out to tell him the engines are good. So she goes, she's like, shh, he's listening. They're like,
Right.
"How do
She
you
can
know?"
tell he's listening.
Right? Like, how do you know? She's like, of course he is. Like he's been hanging on her every word. So she goes in there.
And he's all done.
Right. He was like, just keep your mouth shut for like 10 more seconds.
Yeah, she hear like as she's walking in the room, he's telling himself.
Keep your mouth shut right now.
Yeah.
$600, bro.
And she don't like it. So he even
No.
made it all fancy
She's
where like the
like, "Mom."
shoes
I
shuffle
know, she's
around
like-
and like
Oh, but you know she'd be mad that she had to hand crank that
it.
shit.
That wasn't electric.
No.
No. Come on now, I'm rich.
It wasn't Cher's closet from Clueless.
And she's all pissed that it's oak that
Right.
everybody knows.
That they are made of cedar.
Or you get
closets.
moths
She's like, there's not a whole lot of moths.
on the ocean.
Right.
And she's over there blow drying her toenails with the blow dryer. And he's like, look, all right, fine, I'll start over, but it's going to cost you more than double. And she's
Right.
like, no.
No, I'm not happy with my shit and we're leaving, so I'm not paying you.
Shit, woman, you're lucky I am. House broke. He gets
Right?
all
He's like,
country
we don't
on
know
her.
nothing about no closets.
And he goes off on this rant about you're
Right. Mm-hmm.
so bored, you have to invent things to bitch about. And Andrew's down there, shh, tell my kitchen
right,
staff
like
they can
everybody's
hear
all
this.
like, everybody's listening. He's like, you got nothing to do but your hair. You're nothing but a rich bitch. And everyone's like, yes, read her.
And the whole cruise, yeah, they all clap. And she thinks he's going to molest her because he
know.
goes to like take his tool belt off. She's like, oh,
She's like, no, don't you touch me. And she pushes him
right off the damn ship.
overboard.
Oh, they said the name of it.
Oh, shit. They don't. 'Cause
They
he
not
just-
right then,
no,
but
not
they
then.
say it a couple
They
times.
do.
And
But
they,
yeah, and
she
then she
throws
throws
his
his
tool belt
tools.
in, his toolbox in,
Right?
and then has the yacht fucking take off and
She's
just
like,
leave
start
him.
the engines.
And now I don't know why. For some reason, I know Grant had been up shooting arrows on the deck, but I thought that he had said something about getting off the boat and doing something. And in this moment,
Right,
I was
thought
like,
he
"Wait, did
wasn't
she
on the
just
boat.
leave Grant
I
there
know,
too?
She should have. This would have been like movie over.
Right? Take your money
Movie
and run."
over. Well, he didn't get any money.
No, her.
Oh, her. Well, it's her
leave
money.
both these dudes. Take your own
Oh,
money
shit,
and run.
Spoiler alert.
So yeah, so he needs a new job. He goes to Billy
course.
like, I lost all my tools. I
Right,
got to
he's
get
like,
something
you
else.
can borrow some of mine until you get back on your feet.
And they mentioned this mini golf course they're talking about starting.
Right, like very right up front in the beginning. And like Annie, or I keep
Joanna.
calling her Joanna. I guess you could still have that be
Anna,
your name.
Annie.
Joanna and
Yeah.
Annie. You could still
Joannie.
use that up. Joannie. She calls Mother
Mona.
Mona.
To vent about the carpenter.
She was like, who cares about what some carpenter in Elk Snout thinks?
And she's like, I'm probably just premenstrual.
Like, lie down for like
2 days. I fucking wish.
Like the things she was sitting in, she
Ugh.
looked like a constant velvet painting.
Ugh,
With
amazing.
the dog, with the choker, with the
Like, can
she
you
got up
imagine
and hung
ship
around the
life?
house like
and
that?
that's like a mansion.
Oh
in
no,
a
I was
ship.
talking about
Oh, the mom. Oh
the
yeah,
mom.
her fucking house. Yeah,
she
for
was
sure.
like something else. But
Insane.
Joanna too.
I want to know where their money came from. Because it's all the lady money. So
War
like,
crimes.
dad died and left it to mom, or did mom do some?
She killed Dad
That's what I'm
because
wondering.
she was like 13 when they got married during the Depression. But he was one of
Possibly.
those like Depression profiteers, if there was any. He was like a bootlegger.
Oh, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I see this.
And she mentions that Grant's mentioning having a baby again, and her mom's like, if you have a baby,
then
you
you're
won't
not
be
the
the baby. And she's like, bye-bye, Mummy.
I know, it's true.
And
I
she
know.
hangs up and
She's
bitches
like,
at
I'm
Andrew.
not a bitch. But she is, though.
So Dean comes home, and a woman runs out of his house all covered in toilet paper.
Right, and then Buster Jackson, the hound dogs are all jumping all over her, and he's like, hey, who are you? I was like, oh, it's the babysitter.
That's what I thought at first, but no, it's like the principal.
Right, that just came over.
She came to welcome their
'Cause they're
family.
new in town.
So like, and I'm a little confused about that too. So they're
Yeah.
new in town, but him and Billy have a scheme to start a mini golf course.
They
seem
grew
like
up
they've-
together.
Yeah.
They seem like they've known each other a long
That's
time.
what I
like
got
whether or
from it.
not the
Maybe
full backstory is true, I feel like
maybe Billy's an old friend, and this is like since his wife died, he's gonna move back
but they
to.
seem like staples in this
Yeah.
fucking community.
Yeah, that's a little weird that they're also new in
It
town.
seems like a small
because he's got his
town.
whole homies. He goes out with his
Right.
bowling dudes, and he's got all his bros
He's got
already.
A whole life.
Yeah,
a
that's
couple
That
months.
that's not
It doesn't
cohesive.
wash. No, it doesn't wash because they're up in.
I think because you have to do this for people to not question that he suddenly has a wife.
I guess.
I
So.
think is why.
I guess so.
So there has to be enough people in town that don't know him, and like the people he knows are
the
close
principal,
friends.
he like the kids tell her already
Oh,
off
he
the
just
bat, like
got
mom's
married.
dead. Well, then she says, "Well, no."
Yeah,
the
because she
kids
finds
are
out
in her-
here. So she runs out of the house all covered in toilet paper,
Yeah.
introduces herself. She tells
She
him
was like, "They were
your
gonna
kids
light
are
me on
monsters."
fire, though.
Yes, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they're going through their light arson phase."
Right?
She's like, "This is
Light
not okay. They're
Burning a person.
monsters."
Well, she's kind of. I mean, like, what are you doing there? First of all,
I'm sure she went there to knock on the door to say welcome to our neighborhood, and then the
principal
kids let him in.
comes to
It's
your
a small
house?
town. I don't know. It's 80s.
Elk Snout. Elk Snout.
Elk Grove.
Is that what it was actually
I think it was called Elk Grove.
They were just calling it Elk Snout for fun.
It was something I think that Annie said in her
Is there really a
rant.
Goober, Indiana, or Iowa,
Or
Idaho,
whatever he said.
Idaho? I didn't even look that up.
I didn't
meant to, and I
either.
didn't. And we don't have a research assistant.
Nope.
I
But
looked
yeah,
at the chair like Nicolas Cage was going to help me over there.
Oh, Saint Nick. But she asked them, "Where's their mom?" And that's when he's like, "Oh, their mom died 3 years ago."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, if you don't do something about these kids, I'm
was
going to
probably these
notify the
fucking
proper
kids that killed
authorities."
her.
Right. They don't ever mention their old mom. They're happy to just replace her with a new one. They don't, because imagine what would happen if she just I know the whole plan wasn't for her to always stay and think she was their mom.
But like that
But
was
if
a
she
weird
did-
thing to do to little kids.
And you're just going to erase the memory of your real mom because
Right.
you're trying to trick this lady.
like, was there something wrong with her? They didn't say anything bad about her.
Well, and either these kids were either already like this, or in the last 3 years between the trauma of losing their
I
mom
would
and
imagine it was between the last 3 years and having a single parent that's this guy.
well, and the little one would have been pretty little. When
oh
the-
yeah,
3 years
he's
ago,
got his older brothers
Like, he
like
probably-
raising it. His older brothers and the hound dogs
raising him
raising him.
pretty much. So yeah, she takes off and he's yelling, "I'm a good father!"
Right, but are you though?
Right. So that night on the yacht,
Yes,
Joanna and Gran are in bed watching Lifestyles
the rich and
and
famous.
which my parents
I
watched.
just-
we watched.
Why did we watch that?
I don't
so much?
know.
Like, why do we now?
This
like,
is
we
why
should go back and watch it and see who we need to eat.
a lot of these people are like. This is the reason why people become like fiscal Republicans, because you watched
And
so
thought
much
that this could
lifestyles. Of the,
happen
you're like,
to
it
you?
could happen to me.
That could be me.
I could have this mansion. I saw it when I was a little kid.
Sure, maybe you could.
Champagne wishes
And
caviar
caviar
dreams.
Caviar that should burst in your mouth at the exact right moment.
Or for Tessa, caviar nightmares.
But caviar nightmares.
So she, and this is where he's like, you can't possibly have your period every week.
Right. I did make that note because he's like, I want you tonight. She's like, ugh.
Gross.
Gross.
So she's like, she wants to shut off Lifestyles, but he's like, it's my
No.
escape.
Well, then she's like, what could you possibly need to escape from? And he looks at her.
And she left her wedding
Is
ring
this-
up on the deck. What?
Is this not? This is President Roosevelt from Annie and from Lost Boys and from.
And yep, and he's
Okay.
also the Gilmore Girls grandpa.
Well, yeah, but that's a you thing.
But yes, he's the head vampire from Lost Boys. Same guy.
Just checking.
Yeah, yeah.
Just checking.
So he won't go get her wedding
Is this
ring
the
she
third
left on the
thing
deck.
We've done with him in it. Or has there been more?
At least there might have been more, but this is at least the third.
Who is the person that we've done the most of? Is it Keanu or Winona? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Or oh my God, why did I just Matthew Lillard.
Oh,
Done quite a few Matthew Lillards.
that's also true. That's
We
also
got
true.
SLC Punk, 13 Ghosts, Hackers, and I feel like a fourth
Scream.
one. Scream. Yeah, at least 4.
All right, we're gonna have to figure that out, but not right now.
Yeah, all right.
We're gonna
Anyway.
have to figure that out, but not right now.
So yeah, so she goes up to get her wedding ring off the deck, and she's stumbling around because
Yes,
the captain's
she
asleep at the
puts-
wheel.
He's got his feet in the
Yes, in the
wheel. I don't know what you call that.
yeah, I guess
don't know what you
the
call that.
ship's wheel. I guess,
But she
so.
puts like heeled mules on
to go up on the deck
to go up there, and she
and
goes
a shiny robe that can't be comfortable.
No,
It was like it
it
looked.
doesn't matter. It's a look. She had her hair still pulled up.
That's how she goes
so
to bed.
tight. So tight. That's her facelift.
Yeah,
That's
she
what
just
keeps
keeps
her
it. Yes,
taut.
exactly.
Crucial taut, you might say.
So she's stumbling all around. She's calling for Andrew. Her husband hears her, just turns the
that's what
TV up.
Andrew is like. He's
got
got
his headphones on.
He's got headphones and brandy happening right now. He's
Yeah, it's
listening
his
to
off
some
time.
Symphony. He's done. He's
they're supposed to
clocked
be
out.
in bed.
Exactly.
So she stumbles and falls head over heels down into the sea.
into the water, and
And-
she's like calling for the captain. She's calling for Andrew, and he hears her, but
And Grant hears her, but he just turns the volume up on the TV
not
because he
Andrew
thinks
Grant.
it's
That's what I meant.
or just her bitching for
Right,
him
right,
to
right.
come help
He's
her.
like,
So the next morning on K-Rab, the family station, there's a bulletin about an
Right.
unknown woman being found.
washed up, or no, a
Picked up by the
barge.
garbage scow,
scow.
which was driven by Hector Elizondo.
Oh, that's right.
Uh-huh. And
he
so
was a
he's
singer
telling
in his home country.
Yes, he tells this story. Oh, she had no clothes, just little panties, but she fell over in some clothes. So where'd those go?
Was it under her robe, perhaps?
Yeah, but she took all her clothes off when she was trying not to drown?
Sometimes you might do that if you're like drowning. You like
When
or
he said
freezing. If you're freezing in the
didn't he
freezing
say he
cold
found
water.
her like after midnight? But I feel like she fell off that boat at 9 or 10 p.m. Like I don't think she was in the
That's
ocean
still
for
a
all
long
night
time
long.
to be like in a dark ocean, girl.
I guess
would
so.
fucking just. I would learn to walk on water. Like I can't even imagine. That's like
You'd
my
get up
fucking
like a
nightmare.
cartoon and just
I
fucking
would like
run
woo, woo,
across
woo, 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 woo. Off I go. Like I can't even imagine. That's like a fucking nightmare to me.
Being in the dark
Like in dark
ocean
water,
alone.
lost in the fucking sea. Oh no, I don't want to be eaten. I just don't want to be eaten. Don't eat me. Don't eat me.
And Grant wakes up
Oh yeah,
and
he's
sees
like,
her photo on the TV and looks next to him like, oh,
Oh,
shit. And they're interviewing her and he's like, oh wow, she has amnesia, but she didn't forget to be a
Right.
bitch though.
Yeah, she's still being an
Still an asshole. So he goes to the hospital to claim her, but they let him see her through this like two-way mirror.
Right. He's like, she can't see me because she's like throwing a fucking fit.
Ugh, she's being
She's
such
being
an asshole.
Yes.
And he's like, nope, never saw her before in my
Right?
life. Bye.
I don't know her. I don't know her.
I do not know her.
I do not know her. So Dean sees on the news at the Fishbowl, the bowling
The
alley,
bowling, yeah.
that he's working on, that he's about to have his lunch, and he was like, "Oh shit!" Like the hospital is willing to put up the reward. 'Cause
They're
she's
like, we will give a reward if you
"Please
come get
take
this woman.
She is something else. So he sees that shit, and he's like, "Oh fuck." It's that bitch.
When he sees her husband skipping out on her because he knows that's the husband,
Right,
and it
'cause he
shows
was
him
on
on
the
the
boat.
news like going, nope, that's not my
Right,
wife.
he was like, "Oh fuck!" He ran as soon as he could.
And Billy's like, let's go get your money from her. And he's like, she doesn't even know who she is. She's not
He's
going to
like,
give me $600.
I have an idea, and Billy already knows. He's like, "Bruh, that's illegal. It's crimes. Don't do that."
And he's like, oh, got to go talk to my kids. Got to take
Right?
them shopping at the Salvation Army.
At least he immediately went home to tell his kids, because I feel like there was a lot of shenanigans going on in the 80s where the parents not inform the kids,
Right.
or the kids not.
You just
inform
show
the
up and go,
parents.
oh, this is your real mom. You don't remember her? Like, do
Right?
it. Double
The
gaslighting.
kids are not that young,
Right.
so yeah. At least he went to warn them first.
So he gets a little zhuzhed up and goes to claim Annie. All she has is panties and the pics they
He
took
bought
of her.
them at a garage sale.
Come on now.
Panties?
You don't buy panties at a garage
Well, the
sale.
cop said he was like, "Oh yeah, I bought my wife."
Stop it. Don't buy your wife panties at a garage sale.
An elk snout? Is that what they're doing? They're circulating
Don't be
panties.
circulating your
They're gonna
panties.
get
Just throw them away.
cracked.
Just throw them away when you're done.
Throw it out.
If they're
Nobody
too
wants
gross
them,
for you to wear anymore,
then you don't need
throw
to
them
pass them
away.
on to somebody else.
if they don't have tags on them, do not take them to the if they're new with tags and you
Right,
bought the
right,
wrong
right. Then,
size,
like,
you
yeah.
can return them. Fine. Donate those to the Goodwill.
That's okay.
But if they've
That's
ever
okay.
been worn, don't do it.
That's gross. Nobody wants that. That's how you get rashes.
So they're showing him the pictures, and he's like, "Oh, that's my
Mm.
little cookie cutter. Sure, something, isn't she?" And the doctor's like, "Oh shit,
well,
we got a winner."
yeah, they high five. It's like, yes. So they take him in to meet her, right? Is
Yeah,
this,
and
like, after-
he's like waiting with the dude who's eating his checkers.
eat your checkers. I don't. Is he eating them?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
because she tells him that too, but he
Well, I
eats one
thought
in
she
front
just
of.
says it.
No,
to,
he
like-
eats one in front of Dean, so it must be something he just does
okay,
randomly.
I-
I thought maybe they were Oreos, but it sounded like a checker when he ate it.
That's probably fair. That's probably what's going on in this place is people
Well,
eating
because
checkers.
they didn't really reference it, but when they gave her a private room, I thought they're taking her to the psych ward, but they
That's what I
never
thought.
said anything. But then he goes to see her, and,
then
she's
she's
in
at the psych ward. I
So I think,
assumed-
yeah.
That's what they did when they put her through like the gate.
Well, because she would be medically cleared, so the only
Right,
reason to
they were
keep her
like,
at the
"You're-"
hospital is that she can't take care of herself,
Right,
She
because
doesn't know who she is. Yeah,
Fair enough. And no one's come through to claim her. So I
Right.
guess so. But yeah, she's.
he runs up all excited, and she's like, "Whoa, who
I
are
don't
you?
know. Stop. I don't know who you are. I don't
This
recognize you.
missing link is not my
This
husband."
missing link person. She's like, "What's my full name? What's my maiden name?" And he's like, "Annie Gooley from
Gooley,
Goober,
yeah.
Idaho."
You don't remember?
Right?
You grew up in a nuclear waste dump.
You were in the Navy.
We
Oh,
met
no,
at Hank's Donuts while you were in the Navy.
when you used to hang out there in Seattle.
I still have postcards from you from Okinawa.
Okinawa. And she's like, "What? No, I was in the armed forces," and she was in Private Benjamin.
That's right. That's right. She's sure. I
but
did
that
it
was
again.
the army.
I think so. I did it again. I reached for my drink. It was not there. God damn it. And so
I wasn't gonna say
the
nothing.
doctor's finally like, you know what? She's right. Like, we're
Right,
going to
like,
need
we're
some
gonna
sort
need
of
some-
proof before
It's
we
like-
let you take her home.
Well, I don't like to talk about this, but
Which, why? What do you mean I don't like to talk about this? It's just
Well,
a birth. Why
just
would
because
you? Why would you
right?
ever be telling anybody about your
it's
wife's
not like
birthmark?
it's a tail.
And it's not gross.
She's
It's just
got
a
a
little
tail.
tiny birthmark.
She's got this big open weeping wound on the back of her
Right?
butt crack.
She has a vestigial tail. She doesn't like people to know. Yeah, like she'd be
Scaly.
wearing that nude backed thong, fucking French cut, ultra
it wasn't
French
until
cut.
it got close up that I noticed that there was the nude band around.
At first, for a second, I thought it was just
open.
Yeah,
Which
I was
she
like,
probably
whoa.
could.
Hey,
she
now.
did that shit. And what was it?
Laughing.
Yeah.
She was freaking adorable. When
So
you go
cute.
watch Laughing,
When
she's
she
so adorable.
when she's having her dream about rich life
Mm-hmm.
and she's getting the confetti in her fucking eye, that's where I see her daughter.
Okay, Kate
like,
Hudson.
Yeah. Because I'm like, she does, she doesn't, she does, she doesn't. But when you look at her when she's really young,
Yeah.
she doesn't have like the big wide open eyes.
But you can see it for
But
sure.
yeah, you could see.
I
her
want to
daughter in
say, isn't there her son, Oliver Hudson? I think more has her big blue
there.
round
I don't know
eyes.
as much about him.
I don't know a ton.
I don't know as much about him.
And then they just have the one shared kid, Wyatt.
Right. He's doing. I mean, like they
He's
seem
in
like they're
stuff now.
fine.
He started acting.
I saw that Night Swim movie.
So.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Your kids could watch it. Your kids could watch it.
My
might be
kids?
good
I
for-
mean, my kids can watch anything
Well, like
at
your
this
kids
point.
can watch anything, but like my kid could watch.
Oh, okay.
Like
Kids
10-year-olds
could
can
watch
like
it.
kids can watch it.
So anyway, he tells them about her birthmark, and
Mm.
she goes back behind the TV and checks, and is like, "Oh shit!
Oh,
I
fuck,
guess
I do have one.
I guess that
he
is my
knows.
husband."
Right. So
And he's all, "Come to daddy."
yeah, come to daddy.
And Now, I'm sorry. Why is she in the back of the pickup truck on the way home with the dogs inside the
because
car?
I hate it when people put their dogs
I've
in the
seen
back
people.
of the
I've seen a dog jump out on a leash and be hanging, and people had to like honk and wave this dude down to pull over and not strangle his
My
dog
mom
to death.
tells a story about she saw a dog fall out like in front of her and get like.
Yeah, no, this one was on a leash short enough to keep it off the road, but it was just hanging over the side of the pickup.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, we used to ride in the back of pickup trucks.
I did too. My grandpa had like one of them big old like orange with the Mexican blanket on the back.
Right.
Like, and we would all sit in the back. We would play in it.
Oh yeah,
and
and
it was like you could go down the highway like as long as everybody sat and held hands.
my stepdad, this was like an upgrade. My stepdad had a camper shell with a little carpeting
my
inside.
uncle had like the little thing, and you would go. And,
I
like,
rode
lay
all the
down.
way up north. Like he drove up to Clearwater or wherever, like an 8-hour drive, and I
Yeah.
just fucking hung out in that
My
carpeted.
grandparents, when we would go to my grandparents' house in the summertime over in Nevada, had a big Suburban. I don't know if they still have it, like a big old like 90s Suburban. And we would get in like the backpack and travel the 8-hour drive to their house from our house to their house and spend like a month, 2 months at their house. And I would like ride horses and shit.
Nice. We didn't ever really take any extended trips like that.
Well, you went to other places though, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think because this would have been a summertime thing, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
there's
it was
no
a
school.
summertime
Did
thing,
we ever
yeah.
go stay anywhere? The problem was my family always had pets. We
Well,
eternally had
like we didn't.
we had
That was the whole
multiple
thing.
pets at all
I'm
times.
sure it was a fucking like awesome time for my folks. We were gone for like an entire.
Oh yeah.
fucking month.
So yeah, my grandparents would pick like me and my cousin up, and like we would do the road trip where we
Well,
made them
yeah.
stop at every White Castle
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get the glow in the dark
Yeah.
dinosaurs. That was weeks probably. Like I was
Yeah.
probably gone because they had an RV.
Right.
And so we drove up there, and then we would park at like the KOA campgrounds at night and just
See,
set
like
up.
they had this house. They have this house still that they're there, like that they built. And when we were young, there was like nothing fucking out there. It was
Right.
people that would build the houses, and like the wild
Is
horses.
this the
would come
Nevada
down.
one?
Yeah.
Okay.
The wild horses would come down and be in because it's illegal to fence them out.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be like right there in your front yard when you
That's
woke
cool.
up in the morning. So it was like kind of cool to go out, and they would like plan all this shit. We go to Reno, we go camping, we go fishing.
That reminded me of, I want to say it was a Baroness von sketch. No, there was a sketch show. God damn it, it's going to bother me now. Where there was Portlandia. It might have been Portlandia. And it was like the lesbian couple where when they're the
Yes.
bookstore owner, but
Yes.
they're sort of a couple not. That the Fred Armisen one took the Carrie Brownstein one to like go to his family's cabin, but it was where there was wild horses and they
Yeah.
were a nuisance.
Yeah.
And so he was
There's
out there
people that
like
get mad.
shooting guns in the air, trying to like get rid of these. It was
There's people
there was
that
a whole
get mad,
sketch
like
about
it's a
it.
whole situation.
So yeah,
like,
it must be a thing in Oregon that happens too, like in the more
that
rural
too
parts.
is like once more people came, it got to be like a problem because,
Mm-hmm.
and there was also other things like cattle would go through, like you would see them come down from one end and go down to the other end and whatever. Like,
we got donkeys over here, like
well, yeah.
not even that far away from here that
It's
just
like
come
that,
down
like
to
my
the houses.
grandpa used to take me down to the fucking creek.
The creek.
Down to the creek, and they would be like right across. Like I have pictures that are way too close to a fucking. It's way too close.
Yeah.
And it was pretty far away, but it's still like it's way too close. We can't run that fast.
Yeah.
If like the stallion got mad and snuck up on us, it would have been a bad situation.
I don't know how we got here because we're still
I
in the
don't
back
either.
seat of the
I
pickup
don't
truck.
either. I know. I'm sorry because we were talking about being in the back of the pickup truck. I don't
and
know how we
she
got here.
swallows a bug because that'll
You
happen.
gotta keep your mouth shut because there's all kinds of stuff out here.
And he brings her home to this ramshackle house. Welcome home, baby. And she's like, I
She
feel
looks
faint.
and he's like, we've only been here for a couple of months. There's already shit in the yard.
There's
Did
the
he buy
house
the
is
shit in
wrecked,
the yard?
right?
Like,
Yeah,
I
like
could
with the
see-
cars, like abandoned cars and parts of
like
things and stuff.
rusted into the fucking ground. Did he buy this?
And like,
She's like, we bought this deliberately. Fair.
and like he had gone home previously and warned the boys, and presumably Well, actually, I was going to say he wanted her to stay, but he probably wanted them to be shitty because he was trying to torture her.
Well, yeah, he was trying to torture her, but he was probably just telling them, like, look, I'm going to bring this lady home.
Because they're
what she did.
not
Yeah,
being
like,
good kid. Like, they're
No.
not trying to convince her to stay.
But
by
I kind of also feel like, given what they've already done, that they're just kind of like this. And, like,
Right.
he gave them license, for her at least, to be how you are.
So, yeah, they come charging down the stairs wild as hell. Hi, Mom. We really missed you. We're so glad you're back. And she's like, they're
"What?
not mine.
Those aren't mine.
Honey, I was sure you'd remember the children.
And she's like, there's no way I had 3. And he's like, no, there's
4.
4. And she's like, oh.
Just passes out cold. And before we find out what happens when she wakes up, we're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it.
We'll be right back. Hey, you guys.
Guess what?
We got another new discount for you.
Ooh, we're making friends all the time. And this time,
It's art. You got to get over to Roctopusjones_art on Instagram.
do it right now. Roctopus Jones.
We got super cool prints from this dude. We posted them up on our Instagram. We got cartoon Beetlejuice and Lydia. We got an Audrey too from Little Shop of Horrors. He does all manner of crap that you're going to
All the
love.
things you like.
It's all very colorful, very stylized and cool. And if you name drop us when you DM him to order, you get 10% off.
Super secret speakeasy style. You got to slide in those DMs for it, baby.
So Roctopus, ROCKTAPUS Jones, JONES_art on Instagram, or go check. I'll be reposting and linking in my stories and whatever. So go check them out.
Get there now.
We're back.
We are back, and he had the boys go to the
Salvation Army and gave them no size, not even small, medium,
He
large.
was like, did you get her size? And like, we didn't know anything about any sizes because we're children.
Right? The oldest one's
you
maybe
just
12 or
said
13.
Dresses.
And they're boys.
Right. This is like Steel Magnolias. Like, I would love to see what the boys pick out.
Yeah, seriously.
And what they pick out. Come on. She was like, was I
shorter?
right?
Was I-
like, what? He was like, yeah, I used to walk hunched over.
He tells her not only did she used to be 50 pounds heavier, that she had a hunch or something, and that
Right,
she used to
because her
walk
back,
all
she had a bad back.
because this dress is like this weird square 4XL.
Right. She's like, what the fuck is this?
She said, this garment cannot possibly be part of my
Part of
wardrobe.
my wardrobe.
So she did not forget her transcontinental accent. And her bouginess.
Right, because she was acting like that in the hospital, too. Like,
So,
it wasn't
yeah.
until she gets here that she becomes humbled.
Yes.
Over 2 months.
So he introduces the kids, the twins, who are not identical. He doesn't say their
No,
names.
yeah, because I would look like a shithead.
Who asked you, butthole? We get along very well, Mom. We are best friends.
You're best friends.
And the big guy, Travis, or what do you think his name is? And she's like, Roy.
He looks like a Roy.
He does kind
That's
of look
not
like
a bad
Roy.
guess.
A mullet?
That's not
Come on.
a bad guess. That's not what that kid's real name is. There was no Roy.
There was no Roy.
No.
And then the little
She
one,
was
so they
like,
run
There's
off.
no way that I have had 3
Oh, that was
children." He's
before.
like,
That's when she
4.
passed out, was before
Right.
this. And then he introduces her to
4
the kids.
children. And she was like, what? He's like, our newest Joey.
Yes.
I hoped he would like jog your memory.
And he's like,
Hello. She's like, do we have a falsetto child?
oh, he's really into Pee Wee Herman right now. She's like, do they have a problem with their glands?
There's so many of them.
Well, you always had your heart set on 6.
So we'll just keep on
And
trying.
does he like kick her in the cooch or something?
I know,
like,
he like rubs his foot on her womb.
oh, weird.
Gross. I know he's trying to be gross, but even this seems cute because it's
you
Kurt
know,
Russell and
right.
Goldie Hawn.
And she's like, they don't look like me. And he goes, oh, they look like your mom.
Right. And she was like, oh.
My mom. And he's like, oh, yeah, she's a lush.
Right.
Or
She's
was.
Was. She's like, was. He's like,
Dead
yeah,
of cirrhosis.
she died. And she was like, and my father, he's like alive and well. What's he got? Like 2 years until probation?
Oh, and
Or
she's like, or
parole?
parole. Yeah. She's like, oh my God, what? So on top of this is your life now, I'm
Right.
also going to make your whole past terrible and make you
That
believe
too. And the doctor says that you should do what you would normally do. So you would normally have a naked with feet chicken
it. Feet
in a
and
pot
head. What
With
did he
the
really? Did he
gizzards?
really think he was going to get a meal out of
He
this woman?
hunted that? In where?
From the grocery store, maybe. I
It
don't
had
know.
feet.
Yeah, it was the 80s in Oregon.
Did you
could
take
probably buy
the
a
gizzards
chicken like that.
out? The giblets?
And what? She was just going to boil it in a pot with
She's
some
like,
vegetables.
none of this feels familiar. I feel like I don't know how to do this. And she doesn't.
She almost lights herself. Well, she does burn
She
herself.
does.
She
She
like
starts a small fire, and he's like, "Oh, sit down. I got the burn ointment or whatever," and they come with the
fire extinguishers.
fire. He's like, "Well, nice hustle, boys."
Then totally coat her in the freaking
Right.
extinguisher cream.
Right.
And then he's out. I'm gonna go meet the boys at the bowling alley
I
for
always
beers.
go out after dinner.
So again, they're new to town. Always. How long have you been
Right.
in town?
Right.
And you always leave your 4 crazy children home alone after
and
dinner to go
aside
drink
from
beers.
That after your wife comes home from an amnesiac experience,
You're just gonna leave when she doesn't remember anything.
I mean, I know you're torturing her. Okay.
I know
okay.
it's a weird.
You're doing like a thing. It's a weird fucking dynamic. But like, she did not.
Your kids she could have murdered him or something. You don't
I
know.
know
She
you
could
don't know who
stab.
this person is. She
Insane.
could have fucking Susan Smithed your children.
She's like, "Don't leave me alone," and he's
I
like,
know,
"Look,
with
you
these
know we
kids.
live like this. It never bothered you before."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, when will you be home?" "Well, it depends how drunk I get." Damn, dude. One of your kids
Okay.
is like 6.
I know your kids like
The little one is pretty little. He's like first
that's
grade.
why
maybe.
the big one's like parentified in like a weird way, and all he reads is fucking smut, and that's why the little one can't fucking read.
Exactly.
And like the twins are all kind of weird. Like they got their own thing going on. At least they got each other. One's an actor, one's an inventor. They got a thing.
Yeah. So down at the bowling alley, Billy's asking about his debutante.
I know. He was like, "So, hey, tonight, you think you're gonna
And he's
rape
like,
her?"
right?
Like,
And he's like, "Nah, I don't plan to sleep with her. She's not my type. I'm just
Right.
going to have some
it's
fun
too
with her
rich
tonight."
for my blood.
So he comes home, he splashes himself with some rye whiskey.
Right. He was like, "I need to borrow your drink so I can like tease her about being drunker than he really
So he
is."
lets her think. He comes home all pretending to be super wasted, like he's
Right.
ready to
He's
bone.
like, "No boom boom." She's like, no. Like, what? Well,
I understand. You probably want to go right to sleep and skip the fun stuff. So he opens the door
Yeah.
and points to the couch.
so go lay on the couch because that's how your back got fucked up, was sleeping on this bed that's too soft, which I love this headboard, this whatever, the bed frame that they have. I kind of love it.
I don't even remember what it looked like.
It's
I did
like
not
a
clock
little
it.
metal thing going on over
Well, and
there.
if your wife walked hunched over as a result of your too soft mattress, get a new mattress.
They're
you
poor.
but you moved to a new home with the same
Deliberately.
shitty mattress. And like, what
Yes,
is?
'cause they
How
can't
did she
afford a
get
new
fixed? Going in the sea fixed her?
Because she lost a lot of weight.
I guess.
I don't know. Like, none of this makes sense. She doesn't question enough. She
And-
really doesn't.
And he's talking about their first time in the parking lot at the 7-Eleven.
Which they did, in fact, fuck on their first date. Goldie Hawn and
Ooh,
Kurt Russell.
did
They went on
they?
a date and went back to an empty house that she had just bought and fucked in the house, in the empty house, and like security came
Wow.
and she was like, "No, I just bought the house." They're like, "All right, like."
Well, it may have been
fun."
their first date, but they had known each other.
Well, yeah.
I think before because of I think they
Like,
either
just in
auditioned for stuff
passing.
that crossed over, like
Well,
they
you
had met.
said she met.
She met his mom. She was just on Conan. And you guys, if you want to be weirdly
oh my
sad,
God. Like, it's weird.
go listen
Again,
to Goldie on Conan because
It's like Janine Garofalo. Like, it's a weird.
she very
thing to
casually
have to-
tells traumatizing stories about
she
shit
very
that happened to
casually
her.
Trauma dumps on
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah, she's just very like, oh yeah, you
Which
know,
this is
I
what I'm
basically
saying, like,
got
'cause-
raped, but like, well, she doesn't use that word, but she just
She
says basically that without saying that, and
know.
then just moves on. And
well,
Conan's
and
like,
the time that she came up in, like she treats the time that she came up in as normal and
Well, it's
regular.
not even that she's saying it's normal, but it's
Well,
like
just that
she's just not
I
as
should've
affected
known
by
better.
it, right? Or I don't
At
know.
least she told, like, when she had the experience with the, what did you say, producer?
Yeah, some
And then
dude
the
like
producer did it to somebody else, and she saw it, and she put a stop to it. At least she did that.
well, and there was some weird caveat to that too that I don't remember exactly where it was like she stopped him from doing that, but like she still hung out with him, or like there was some weird thing where I don't know, man. It was the 60s.
It's a weird
60s.
Well,
man.
yeah, because she's been around for a long.
I mean,
well, so
Laughing
is
was.
He was the last thing written down in fucking Walt
That's right.
Disney's notebook before he died.
And he's a lot younger than her. Or not a lot, but 7.
Wasn't
I
he
think
in-
it's 7 years younger than her.
Fox and the Hound, right?
I think so, yes.
I think so. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's a weird thing. What they are in real life is of no concern to me. What they are in my mind is all that
Is all that matters.
That's all that matters. That's
So
all that
yeah, so
matters.
she sleeps on the couch and she's like, I'm a short, fat
slut.
slut. And the lightning hits and the dogs get scared and run up onto the couch
I
with
know,
her. And she's like,
help. And
help.
it's like leaking right on her. It's like Frankie fucking Stigmata's
Yes.
apartment.
Yes.
Everything is wet. She's got the pans
She falls
and the
asleep
dog.
with like pots all on top of her and a dog
Oh my
on top
God,
of
and
her.
She dreams of
That she's
being
at a
rich. She's
fancy
got
New Year's
rich
Eve party.
dreams
Mm-hmm.
with like, who is that? What was it?
I couldn't tell if it was anybody famous that she was with.
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Like she dreams of being rich. It's like New Year's Eve, and she's got the confetti in
Confetti.
her fucking eyes, but it's the water, and he's putting water on
Right?
her face.
You got to get up and make the kids lunches for school. And she's like, I don't care if they don't go to school.
Well, they're going to be home with you all day then. She's
So
like,
she
"Fuck."
slaps together some peanut butter jelly and mayonnaise
She's like,
sandwiches.
These are a few of my not favorite things.
And she just like rips the bread apart
I know,
too.
she's
It's
just,
just
like,
a
fucking
mess.
slapping
It's like
shit
loose
together, like,
M&Ms
here.
and
Get the fuck out of my house. Get the bus. Get the fuck out of here.
she keeps calling Travis Roy and then twin.
Yeah, oh, twin. He's like, my name is Travis.
One tells her she's doing the one that's like a little actor.
doing
was like,
a
"You do
great job."
Mom. And Dean's like, I gotta go to work, but here's your list of daily
I knew
chores.
you would forget, so
and
I
I'll
made
see
a
you
list.
tonight.
Yep.
And he goes out to the truck singing some fucking.
I
He made it even worse.
Zippity doo dah, zippity day.
My oh my, I got a wonderful slave.
Which is
it's even worse. I didn't
incidentally-
know you could make it
which
worse.
is what the movie's about.
Exactly. Like he just made it literal.
I know. So she like hears this shit anyway, and now we have like a cleaning montage.
Oh yeah, she
and
goes
a
in to
chores
wash her face, and
montage,
there's a turtle in the
a
sink.
life montage.
And yeah, everybody, the dogs are attacking her. She's feeding them
got
out of the
this fucking
can.
Country ass shed and a country ass washer. And
That
press.
washer, what year is it? That is not a 1987 washing machine.
What the fuck is happening in this? And again, that does not look like they just put that in there 2 months ago.
No.
This whole situation doesn't look like they.
And
put
what
that
is
in there
that
2
weird
months ago.
press thing they had? That roller
An
thing.
ironing machine?
That was
But not
weird.
Really. That was like a Victorian nightmare.
And of course, she almost like wrecks their whole house because she has no
Yes.
idea how
She
to
doesn't
do
know
any of
how
this
to
stuff. She's
fucking
putting
do this.
Mr. Bubble, which why is the Mr. Bubble above the washer?
because it was the same. And what was
Who
that?
be taking baths in
Freaky
the goddamn?
Friday?
It wasn't.
Freaky
That wasn't
Friday
bubble
they
bath.
did
She just put dishwashing liquid in it, I think, in Freaky Friday.
I feel like it was Mr. Bubble, though. I feel like we specifically discussed Mr. Bubble.
I don't remember that.
Maybe it wasn't that, but I know we talked about Mr. Because you're allergic.
I remember. Well, I don't know that I'm allergic, but I remember it being a big deal in the 80s that Mr. Bubble gave little girls yeast infections.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that. Who's allergic to Mr.
I don't think I'm
Bubble?
allergic to Mr. Bubble because we
Am I
use that. I
imagining
remember that
this?
smell hardcore.
Who's allergic to Mr. Bubble?
Tell us.
You're out there.
Tell us now.
Is it you?
So he gets home from work and she's like, "Buh, buh, buh." She's
Yeah,
just in
she's,
a
like,
comatose in the corner.
Dissociated catatonic state.
And they're like, at least she isn't going buh, 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 buh,
Hey,
buh anymore.
Baby doll, what's for dinner?
Buh, 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 buh. I like
Really?
it when she goes buh, 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 buh. Billy Baloney. Oh, if you guys didn't see our live at the end of April, You better go check it out for Billy Baloney.
I hope he shows up.
He better. We don't have him yet. We're in the past talking about the future.
And I hope that the future works out.
Okay, the live is in the future. We're in the present. But we're now talking to you in the future, talking about the past. Oh. Confusing.
That's so confusing. But anyway, we got a Billy
And
Baloney.
he carries her outside and he dumps
puts
her
her
in
in the
the
fucking
porch bucket, the rainwater barrel. He could have drowned her.
She's like, thanks, I needed that.
Yeah, feel better. And she's like, I don't belong here. I
don't
feel it.
Like, I do
I
not
can't
belong
do
here.
these vile things and I wouldn't want to.
If my life is like death, my children are the spawn of hell, and you are the devil.
And she like tries to drown herself and he picks her up. He's like, baby, we like you. So she comes in determined to find photos, scrapbooks, photos, anything to spark a memory.
She's looking for memorabilia. She wants to see pictures. Like, there's got to be pictures of our wedding day. There's got to be pictures.
Well, we lost a lot of stuff in the move. And
like, I don't know. I'll look for it over the weekend. Like,
and then she sees him by the closet stroking his little overall thing. And she remembers
like a flashback
you
of her room
and the closet.
And he's like, yeah, it's me. And I'm standing in front of the closet.
So they disregard.
Go take a bath.
Yeah, she goes and
relax.
sleeps on a different couch.
Yeah.
They have more than one couch.
But yeah, he goes down to Billy's. He
sneaks out with the pics he got from the hospital of her all looking traumatized.
He's like, remember that time that you made us them fake IDs? Which again, remember that time you made us fake IDs before we were like adults?
Yeah, he for sure has known him for a long time. So I don't know.
Whose place is this? Did he go back to his childhood home?
Maybe. But then you wouldn't think he'd be new in town. He'd be like
Everybody
returning.
Would know him. Mm-hmm. Go, Jim Dandy. Go, Jim Dandy. It's been stuck in my head all fucking day.
So he doctors all these photos and shows them to her, and she's like, "It's my wedding day. Why do I look annoyed?"
Right?
They're all the photos of her after getting pulled out of the ocean.
Right? She's like, "Have I always been this depressed?"
And he has a story for every photo about why she's making a face.
Was I ever happy?
And he's like, yeah, totally you were. And she's like, well, all right, well,
this is my life.
I guess this is it.
I didn't marry very well, did I?
And on the yacht, Grant is living his best life. He's got bathing suit girls on the yacht. The cell phone rings and Andrew answers and it's Mona wanting to know where's her daughter.
Oh, she just stepped out. She's not.
She went shopping.
They went shopping. Both of them.
So he pretends neither one of them are there. And so at this point, it's been maybe a week or something.
Right.
She's been missing. So Billy comes over to watch the game, and he got Annie to rub his feet. I don't know how.
I don't give a shit what I remember, what I don't fucking remember. If I have a clean fucking slate, I ain't rubbing your fucking feet.
If this is like, I don't remember ever having touched your feet before, I am not starting right now.
I will go home with Kurt Russell, but I'm not touching your fucking feet.
Could you imagine?
No. No.
And Billy keeps staring at her, and he's like, well, he was your high school boy. Why are you doing this to this woman?
Because she was a bitch.
And he's like, do you still have feelings for him when you look at him? And she's like, no.
No, because he's like all gross and greasy. And
he's
like,
all looking at her like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
nasty.
And then little Joey's just like sucking her. She syrup from the bottle. That's like all he eats.
Yeah. He can't read. He's feral. He eats nothing but chocolate syrup.
And the other boys put glue on the plate, so she goes to get them some chocolate cream pie.
He's like, make some brownies, but she's like, no, I have a
didn't
chocolate
make brownies.
How did she make a chocolate cream pie?
I don't know.
She did not know how to put a.
And this is only a weekend. I wouldn't
know what to do with the naked chicken, but you're telling me she went.
And
to
it looked nice too. It didn't look all fucked up. It looked like a regular chocolate cream pie.
She got it from Coco's.
That's how she.
Marie Callender's.
That's how she made a chocolate cream pie. She went to Marie Callender's.
How far is the Marie Callender's from their place? They live on like the fucking.
Well, I don't know. You don't see anywhere close by, so they might be right outside of civilization.
There's
I have no
Caro's.
Maybe there's one in the town next door.
Is there a Sizzler?
So the boys glue the plates to her hands. They put glue on the bottom of the plates. So she picks up 2 plates and goes for the pie, and now the plates are glued to her hands.
Right. And she's like, look at what they fucking did.
Yeah, she goes off.
Orf. She's yelling at Dean. She's yelling at Billy. She's yelling at the fucking kid.
And then little Joey just squirts chocolate syrup all over her.
Boys want to. He's got to do the induction into the gruesome ghouls.
I guess.
To like do the thing. He's like, I don't want to do it. They're like, just fucking do it. And he's a little kid. So of course, at that moment, he squirts chocolate syrup.
And she's like about to lose her mind. And Dean's like, just no more jokes on mom today, okay?
Right. Let her just chill. And she comes out like
with the cream. And I thought she was going to smash that shit in his face. And she does not.
It's hard to serve it when your hands are glued to fucking plates.
But she comes back. Everybody gets served. And she comes back with
their
fucking
hands.
I know. They are animals. And she comes back with like the seltzer bottle.
I know. They got a hose.
Or is it the hose?
House.
Oh, God damn it.
Get the hose.
And she hoses them down.
And it's like a cute moment.
And it's cute. They're having a little family moment. Fire. She's like, because they hosed her down earlier. And everyone's laughing. Okay, guys, go get her. And they chase her down. And they're outside. And they tickle her. And it's like your first, little moment where like she's having a good time.
Yes, exactly.
So the next morning, she wakes them up and tells them to get ready.
Mm-hmm. They have to go to school. Like go to school, and now the principal is like all upset with them. Like
they won't take their test. They keep saying they're itchy.
Right, they're like itching uncontrollably, like visually. You can see
they're
them.
Physically itching all over, all 4 of them.
And she like keeps them back and calls the parents, and they were like,
and Annie gets there first.
Well, she says something about like, oh, I thought your mom.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned their mom. And she's like, you have a mom? And they're like, our dad just got remarried. And she's like, oh, well, good.
She assumed. She was like, oh, your dad remarried. Great. Because you guys are fucking animals.
So I'm calling them both. Mm-hmm. So she calls them in, and Annie gets there first.
Exactly. And
she's reading them the fucking, your fucking kids are blah, blah,
they
blah, blah,
suck
blah,
and this, that, whatever. And she's like, did you not see this shit?
That these kids are covered in fucking poison oak?
Right.
Has it escaped your attention?
It sure did.
That these kids have head to toe poison oak?
Yeah.
My kids are in need of medical assistance, and you smugly lecture me on the importance of tests. Their potential cannot possibly be measured by tests.
Yeah.
And you know what? My husband may be a large child, but that's my business, and it's no concern of yours. And you know what? I'm fucking and Dean's out, and Dean's meanwhile like outside the door hearing all this, smiling.
Exactly.
And the kids are like,
right? Yeah. But she's like, get in the car, move.
Yes. So now she ain't taking no shit. Mm-hmm. And so that night she's treating them all with the calamine lotion.
And that's where she notices that Joey can't read.
Right. And they're talking about dads lets us do whatever we want, which like, were you not here before? What do you mean dad lets us do whatever we want? Where were you?
She wasn't catching.
No.
A whole lot of things because they're kids and it's a ridiculous thing to expect them to keep up a charade, especially that little one.
Yeah. So she realized he can't read when she's trying to get him to read the label for the calamine, and the brothers tell him the teacher makes fun of him.
I know.
It's your job to teach this boy to read. What do you mean you're making fun of him?
Which teacher?
I'm about to bitch slap
fun of him because I'm gonna come down there. I'm gonna come down there and talk to you. Don't make me come down there and talk to you. You better not ever talk shit about my kid and I find out about it.
And so Dean's getting ready to go out again, and she's like, come on, no, we need to talk. Like now.
Like, I need you to stay here. Are you aware
that your child can't read?
Yeah, like he can't read. Travis only reads smut magazines.
Oh, we'll just build another bathroom. And she's like, no.
Well, that was the other thing. One toilet
for 5 to 6 people.
Yeah.
Insane.
We
have 4 people in 2 bathrooms and struggle.
And 3 people in my house. And like the second toilet was a blessing.
Well, because if you all ate dinner and it was the same thing, and if it all happened to be something that made your guts rumble.
If it's spinach.
Right? You got the shit moving through, that greenery trying to clear you out.
Sounds like a microwave full of nickels.
What is a microwave full of
I
nickels?
saw that shit
sound
on the
like?
internet. That wasn't me.
I've never heard that.
Your stomach sounds like Pazuzu in there.
Bubble guts.
Bubble gut.
Pazuzu and his Pazuzoots dancing in your belly.
Clack, clackety, clack, 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 clack.
So yeah, so she's like, and he tells her the kids are none of your business, and she's like, none of my
what? My
business.
kids are none of my fucking business? Like, what are you talking about?
And he's like, oh, now I'm late. Oh, and he
I
storms
gotta get
out.
outta
The
here.
fucking
Like,
nerve. He comes home late. And he goes to grab a beer, but he notices like everything's clean.
Everything
The fridge is clean. The sink is clean.
Yeah.
And she's in there pretending to sleep on the couch and tells him to go away when he sits down.
Right.
And he's
Because
like,
he's talking to her. He's trying to like apologize.
he's like,
for
oh,
being a
I'm
dick.
sorry. I appreciate all you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Right. And like, he's like, would you look at me?
No, I'm ugly.
I'm ugly. And she's like, I've got poison oak too.
He's like, well, normally you look real pretty, just
not
not
right now.
And she's like, what the fuck?
She's like, I don't even have a wedding ring.
And he's like, oh, you lost it in the sea.
Right. And he like puts her in bed. Like, I'll take the couch. You sleep in the bed. And she's like, I want to know like anything about my past. Tell me a fucking story.
Oh, when you worked at Burger Boy.
Yes. Some
saved a
kid
kid
was
choking on a
like
fry.
with the Heimlich maneuver, and I was so proud of you. And you're an employee of the month,
And she's like, you can be quite charming when you want to be.
right?
No,
And
you
it's
just caught
cute.
me on a bad day.
Right, and it's cute.
So Billy is telling her, so they're at like a
He comes
barbecue,
to, like, a
outdoor
cookout. They're
picnic.
talking
Yeah.
about the golf course, and Annie realizes that she speaks French.
Yeah, because she's like, oh, you should do foreign places.
Right,
And she
like
says
the
something in
Seven
French.
Wonders of the world, and like she says, some shit. I speak French.
Do I know what I said? I do.
I do. I said, you know,
I
whenever
must have
she's
been
like,
in
"How-"
Paris in the Navy.
He's like, yeah, in the Navy.
And Dean thinks it's a good idea. Taj Mahal, Seven Wonders of the World. Can you
Right.
draw me some pictures?
Yeah, like if you want to draw me some pictures so I can know what you're talking about. And he tells Billy, he's like, pick a wonder. He's like, Stevie Wonder. Wonder Bread. And she tells him like Mount Rushmore, the Parthenon, St. Basil's Cathedral, the Grand Canyon, pyramids, and Eiffel Tower, and like then Dean goes out bowling without a bowling ball.
Oh, well, first she goes, I had to put a note because she goes home and does draw those pictures and
Yes.
she uses Mr. Sketch
Yes, she
markers.
does that sniff.
And she does not.
No,
how are you
she's
going to
not
put Mr.
smelling
Sketch
them all.
markers and not have her be sniffing on them markers?
Those were Apple.
Why do we not have
Oh.
why do we not
I
have
bought
some
the
Mr.
one
Sketch
with
markers?
the new ones in it.
And
There's
it's not
like
quite the
new
same?
ones and like, well, no, they have the original smells.
Oh, okay.
Black is still licorice, unfortunately. Well, you just don't smell that one.
Don't smell.
But they have like extra ones, and some of them are gross.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a weird.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know, but you know, I smelled them.
I feel like we need to order some of these for in here, but we don't use regular markers for
It doesn't
anything.
matter. We just want to smell them.
For our mail?
Yeah.
Do they still smell like if you wrote on
Yes.
a postcard and then
The
stick it in the...
The cherry one.
It
is
still smells like cherry?
mouth-watering.
Okay, so maybe we'll get us some Mr. Sketch
Yeah,
markers.
let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Get the original one, get the expanded version, whatever. Because the original ones still smell correct.
Okay. So that night, Dean isn't home for dinner because he goes bowling, but Jared's like, well, it's hard to bowl without a
Without your
ball.
bowling ball. And she's like, what the fuck?
So she goes down to the alley to bring his ball, and he's not there, but she finds him working late.
He's been working nights.
Shoveling shit.
Job. Shoveling shit.
Carrying bags of fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, she gives him a tie and tells him he looks great. It's like
Right.
that
It's
he's
like
on his way for the
They're
investor.
doing the investors, like the pitch for the investors.
And he comes home that night. They got the money.
Yes, ask me. He does little. It's cute.
It is. And they
It's fucking
start
cute. He falls
construction.
into this really easily.
He's in love.
I know.
So they begin construction of the golf course, And you get this kind of little montage of her like bonding
it's
with the
another-
boys, and
right.
Dean's feeling bad and he needs to tell Andy the truth.
Right. He was like, I've done something bad or
Like
whatever.
now
She's
it
like, "I
feels
know."
like lying. Yeah.
Right. And she's like, I know you've been working nights at the fertilizer and feed store. Like, it's fine.
Well, before that was when he comes home and all the kids are like being just quiet
know,
and
and he's,
learning and like playing
like,
piano and she's
like,
reading to
I
little
got
Joey.
Christmas play. I'm Tiny Tim in the play, and like I got a A in my history exam, and I'm flunking math. But
And they ask if she's gonna leave, and she's like, "No, I'm your mommy." And he's like,
Right.
"Well, sometimes moms leave."
she's just like, no, I'm not going
She's
anywhere.
like- and he gives her that macaroni necklace.
I know.
And the boys are all smiling, and then that's when
know.
Dean comes home and is like, "Look, I got to tell you something. I did something I'm ashamed of."
He tells the kids to get lost, but he sees them up there with their little motherless
Looking through the
faces.
looking through the little stairwell.
And he was like, I forgot your birthday.
And because she's like,
like,
"No, I
"It's
know
my
you've been
birthday."
working late." And he's like, "No, it's not that. I
Right,
forgot
it's
your
worse
birthday."
than that or whatever. And it's like, I forgot your birthday. Like, get dressed. We're going out.
And he takes her to
The fishbowl?
so I don't even know where they
It's
went,
like a
or was it that
nightclub.
Crabs Are Us, or I don't even know where the fuck.
Crabs Are
I
Us.
swear that was the name of the
It
restaurant.
was. It really fucking. You know what it was? It was Crabs R Us.
I think so. But he takes her dancing, and that's when
Yes.
they're when these
Go Jim Dandy. Go Jim Dandy.
and it's like rocking out
I
to
know,
Jim
like
Dandy.
the middle-aged dudes fucking band.
And she is having probably the best time she's ever had in her life. Getting down,
Right?
drinking shitty champagne out of plastic
$7
glasses.
champagne. It cost us
$7.
$7. She's like, oh baby, nothing's too good for you.
And he tells her this story, so she hears they go out to look at the river
Right,
or
she's
whatever,
like, why do they do that? It's the sea.
or the sea, and they do the honking, the long three.
Right. She's like,
blasts.
why do they do that? And he was like, oh, well, like the legend is Arturo and Katerina.
The Portuguese fisherman who fell in love with a rich
Right,
man's
and, like,
daughter.
he didn't like it, so he sent him out to sea. And he said that when he came through, he would sound the horn 3 times, and she'd jump in the water and get to the boat, and off they'd go. Well,
Oh, so they reunited and they kissed?
no, he jumped off the boat, and they both drowned. So that's why.
But they reunited at the bottom of the sea.
Right. So when the spray splashes up on the rocks,
This is them making love forever and ever.
forever and ever, and it's like all romantic.
And they hug and they slow dance. It's like,
Oh,
help falling in love with you. And she's like, how old am I? And he gives the perfect
I
answer.
know.
29.
29.
That's always every 80s fucking
She
movie.
looks at him like sploosh.
She's like, yes, that was the answer I wanted.
29, 108.
And they go home and they make love all night long. All night. They're on the floor.
All
They're on the
night
bed.
Long, all night.
And they're still kissing as the sun comes up.
man.
She finally
Hot.
falls asleep and he goes
Hot.
and he sneaks out of the room and he comes back. Oh, the boys are being
He
loud.
lets the kids come in while she's naked.
I know.
He's
Hello.
like, she's got small tits, but a nice ass.
right?
What did he
Travis.
say? They got her a new washing machine. Which,
Okay.
I mean,
Yes,
yes,
and
great.
no. You know what I mean? Well, because
Yeah.
it's not like, it was her birthday. I'm like, okay, if it was like,
But he took her out.
it's not a romantic occasion. It's not Valentine's Day. It's not your wedding anniversary.
And
So,
she
like, if you've been
enjoyed it.
struggling with this shitty fucking washing machine, a washing machine is an expensive gift. So,
That's
is a washing
true.
machine
That's
acceptable
true.
as a birthday gift? As long as I'm not the only one using it. You know what I
Well,
mean? As long as the expectation
if
is
you're
not,
gonna dick me down right for like 12 hours,
you're going to dig me down all night
long, all night.
Fine. Maybe you get
Okay,
away with a washing
all right.
machine.
Then I might, but I might also be upset that you had my like.
But we would really
nudity
prefer a
out
Billy
with it.
Baloney doll and for you not to invite the children in when I'm naked. Thank you.
I don't do that, please.
Don't do that.
At least let me put a shirt on and accept the kids' gift with shorts on, at least.
So back to Grant, who's still partying hardy.
Oh, fuck. He's having like the best. Everybody is.
And that's when Mona calls like, it's been 2 fucking months.
2
months.
She has called every fucking day for 2 months and has not called the police.
She would have called the police before this. Come on.
Oh, is he in international waters though? No.
Oh, I don't know.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
Where's he going? Because they're from New York. Did they sail all the way down?
I guess
and
all around the coast
or over. How far up does it?
I don't know. And she's like, if you don't produce Joanna, I will have
1 week. She gives
mercenaries hunt you down and chop off the protruding parts of your body.
She still gives him
a week. It's been a day.
Right. You in 24 hours. And
She
that's
better
a
be calling
treat.
me. Yes.
You better produce my fucking daughter. Not without my daughter.
And so Grant's like, fuck, turn the boat around.
You already did that. Why did I not see any of
We have
that?
so many magnets.
I know.
You guys, if you want magnets, hit me up. We got the new logo in magnets, and they're stuck to
She's a
everything in this
magnet
room.
pusher. I know. Well, I missed that. I was like, oh, I don't have any.
And then you're like, oh, no, wait, I did already
Well, I
have
totally
multiple
do. I had
magnets.
many, so now I got more.
So now the boys are out. They're all dressed up on the picnic bench, waiting for some sort of
they're all cleaned
occasion.
up. And Billy and Dean come back because they had to go hunting because hunting
On ceremony, opening
Pheasant-
day, ceremony day.
pheasants,
Fucking pheasants.
But yeah, so he goes in to get dressed.
And she's like, oh, we got to take the truck. The other car's in the shop. And she goes to look in the glove compartment for
Because
something.
there's like pheasant feathers and shit.
Well, and
all
I
over
don't
the
understand
fucking
why
place.
you don't just tell her these are her panties.
Because it says JS.
Oh, yeah. So what do you, because you told her name was Annie Gooley or whatever the fuck.
Gooley.
Gooley.
That reminds me of the Tanya Harding. What was his name? Galooly? Jeff Galooly.
Yeah, I think so.
I still feel like we owe her an apology. Like, I
Right?
don't really think she
I don't
was-
know. I did
don't
love
think-
that I, Tanya movie was pretty good.
It was pretty good, and I don't know, like, I don't know. I think those assholes kind of got carried away.
and that
she
wasn't
just-
exactly what she wanted
She
to
might
happen.
have been talking a whole bunch of shit, but I don't think she really thought these idiots were
We're
going
going to do that.
Do
When
all
you're
that.
young, you
Because
get...
that was the other thing. Like, you wouldn't believe it because of that crunchy hair, but they were all very fucking young.
Yes, they were.
I could watch that shit all goddamn day long. That fucking why?
With that white rain in her hair. You know that was
my
white
God.
rain. That wasn't an Aquanet. That was a white rain.
Oh, I know, because
That
she was
a
like
spritz.
highbrow.
That wasn't a. That
she
wasn't an
was
aerosol.
highbrow. She was like the rich bitch. Ritz bitch.
Ritz beats. So yeah, so now there's this big controversy about the panties, and she's like, and
Right.
he's like, no, all right, fine, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Right.
And he
like, I
does.
just- and yeah, he's like, we're
Straight
not
up.
married. These are not your kids.
These are
These
your
initials are
panties.
yours. That's the whole thing. And she's like, fucking what? Huh?
And
Who is
he's
she?
like,
Are you
back
in
me
love
up, kids. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, like, I don't know what you mean. Like, they were
That's
like,
our
refused
mom.
to blow it. And then she goes to Billy, who's like, those are mine.
He's like, oh, I got lucky with a phone sex operator. And,
Right. She came over here, but I didn't have a back seat in my truck, so I borrowed his.
and that's why they call me Bad Billy Pratt.
Right. Because that guy gets pussy.
And she's all, wow, pretty expensive panties. That girl must have more than one phone.
Right. She's like, you don't have to say anymore. I get it. Cool.
So they're at the opening ceremony. It all goes well. We see all the
Having just
attractions.
the best fucking day. And he gets up there and thanks her.
Oh.
All of this is because
They bring her
of
flowers.
Yes,
Yeah.
the kids are all charming. They stay clean.
Yeah.
And all the while, is this already after Grant has found
Grant's
out?
looking for a limo still at this part.
Right.
and so
but
he's telling
already
her-
found out that that's where she is.
Yes,
Like,
he knows that's where she is. He's going back for her.
that's right. They have already, because she's demanded to see her in a week. It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
we got to go back there. Okay, yes.
So he must have gone back to the hospital, and the hospital was like, oh, we released her to this
yeah,
other
like-
dude.
You came here and then left.
So he pronounces his love for her in front of everybody.
Well,
He
then
puts a
before
ring
that,
on her
that's-
finger.
He gives her the ring finally, and before that, that's why Billy says he lied. Is he's like, you guys belong together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he does the whole thing. He thanks her. He gives her the ring that she was missing, that she lost at sea.
And they
quote
have
unquote.
a beautiful thing. And
Is
then,
that his wife's ring?
whose?
Dean's. He had a wife.
I don't know.
Like, did he?
Well,
not...
I assume because he had money from the golf course, he went and bought her just like a simple band or something.
Maybe. Oh, I'm sure it wasn't like extravagant, but like maybe
He bought her a
he
cubic
didn't bury
zirconia.
His wife with the fucking ring
I
on.
feel like you
because he's,
would.
like,
Why
poor
wouldn't
people.
you? I don't
Because
know.
he's poor people.
But her
it was
ring
like
probably
his
wasn't-
grandmama's ring.
Oh, if it was an inherited ring, maybe.
If it was an heirloom,
But I
you're
feel
not
like
gonna
that's
bury her with it.
sentimental. You bury your fucking wife with their wedding ring. But it
Well,
depends. Well, because they would have been married, that oldest kid, they would have been married 10 years minimum.
Well, like maybe they did it young. Because how old do you think they?
I
really
think
are
Travis was
realistically?
13, which
Yeah.
means they had been married for at least 10 years, probably. Well, if they got married before he was born.
Right, he might have been a honeymoon baby.
You don't know.
So
Or-
they could have been married up to 13 years.
Mm-hmm. I would
So
say that's
what,
about right.
Early
So-
20s, because that's what you did back then?
well, if he was telling her she was 29, I'm guessing they're 35.
Okay. Okay.
If that was a gimme on her birthday that like, oh, it's your 29th,
okay,
then I'm
so
going to
she
say
was
she's
like
mid
20.
30. She was like, yeah, when they got married,
Okay.
probably.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So they get back to the house and the limo's there waiting. Is it
Right.
Daddy Warbucks?
Right.
No, it's Richie Rich's dad. Did he not play Richie Rich's dad in the movie?
Oh, shit,
I
I
feel like
think
he
he
was
did.
also Richie Rich's dad.
Fuck.
Research
God damn it.
assistant.
Keep going.
Okay.
I'm going to look it up.
And so they're like, she's all, oh, hi, Grant. I just have to put these in some water, and walks right past him. And
Right,
Dean
she
just
comes out
freezes,
like-
waiting for her to realize, like, oh,
She
shit.
comes out like, holy shit.
Grant?
I remember.
Is that you? I remember.
know you.
I'm Joanna Stayton.
What was
Dean,
I
I'm
just-
cured.
Oh,
Richie Rich dad.
Yeah.
And so she's like all excited with Dean. Like, I remember I have
Right,
money,
like,
even
ask
some
me
in
anything.
Switzerland.
Yeah, and, like her husband's like, wait, what?
What about it? And she's thanking Dean for bringing her here and making her a wife and a mother. And,
And
she's
then
all,
like,
wait,
why
did you do that? Oh,
Why
God.
did you-
I know you.
Yes, it is him.
It is him. Okay.
Edward Herrmann.
And she's like, you're that sweaty carpenter who
I
hates
remember
me.
you.
These are your children. And you made me believe that.
Oh, my
God.
God.
You tricked me.
Yeah.
You used me. And he's like, say something, Annie. And she's like, my name's not Annie.
That's not my name.
I don't belong with you, and I don't belong with them.
Right, they don't belong to me.
She's like, I have to go get my things.
Right, and she goes in there and she looks around. She's like, none of this stuff
I don't
is
have
mine.
anything here.
Right. So she gets in the limo. The kids run after it. Like,
Oh, this is where I
Mom!
cried.
I know. I was like, oh, shit.
She's like plugging her ears.
I know.
You said moms,
Moms
don't
leave.
leave. And I was like,
I know.
You should have told her, Dad. He tried, and
I
you wouldn't back
know.
him up.
I know. Well, they're children.
I know.
They can't be held responsible. This is an awkward fucking position for the children to be put in.
It
really.
is.
Like he at least, given the 80s-ness of this fucking movie, at least he went home first and explained to the kids what kind of fucking shenanigans he was
Right.
about to pull on an unsuspecting amnesiac woman.
So she has now fully regained her memory.
Right.
She's back out on the boat
They
in her
get her back
normal
on the yacht.
clothes.
Uh-huh.
Retreating off the
not
back of the boat
really.
at sunset. Like, she's just like watching the town go away.
He calls
Dean's
her fucking,
looking
she's
out.
Like, Mona's all talking to the doctor, who is also a composer.
So yeah, Mona's there now. Mama Mona's
Will I
there.
ever see the debutante that I raised? Will
And
she
the-
ever again be one of us?
And they call her JoJo, and she's like,
I sound like a fucking Pomeranian. He's
Don't
like,
call
no,
me
it was
that."
Diddums you hated.
why does the doctor have to be here? Just indulge, Mummy. Andrew, I'm sitting. And she has that big
yes,
fluffy
they puff
skirt
up.
that Andrew has to puff
Could you
up.
imagine lounging in that shit?
No, that
she
seems
looks
so
like one of those
uncomfortable.
magnificent portraits at all times. She looks like she's posing for one of those big,
Velvet, or not velvet,
well,
but like,
yes, but not
gold fucking
Yes,
framed
yes, yes.
portraits. Yes.
in the gallery and the fucking portiere, the fucking whatever you call that shit.
And Joanna wants a beer.
Oh, can I get a beer? And the
Oh,
doctor's
that's
like,
not normal, is it?
He
The
said,
doctor's like,
let
no
her-
harm.
Yeah, let her have it. And she fucking pops it off the
Just pops it open on the
Ooh,
fucking.
good stuff.
And she's talking, and they offer her a cigarette, and she's like, I don't
I
smoke.
don't smoke, do I?
And they're like,
You've
yeah.
always smoked.
Why don't we all smoke?
Let's
Why do
all
I have to
smoke.
smoke?
I hate
Grant's like,
smoking.
I never smoked.
This isn't about your therapy, Grant.
I never had therapy, even after my nervous breakdown.
That we ain't talking about you, bitch.
And Joanna goes and picks up the tray to serve food, and they're like, whoa.
Whoa! Why would you do that?
But the doc's like, that's
She's
excellent.
like, I thought that you would be hungry.
I'm hungry. That's perfect.
That's amazing because I was actually hungry.
Well, who cares if you're hungry? She turned
Right,
herself
we
into
have
a waitress.
servants. We got servants for that shit.
So they cut to Dean making SpaghettiOs with the Ritz cracker
Way
topping.
too much in this pot. That's too much.
Overflowing.
Too much in this pot.
And the kids won't come to dinner, but Billy will eat that SpaghettiO surprise.
Oh, he sure will. But the kids are out in this fucking murder shed.
Getting
talking
ready
about
for
Dr.
battle.
Death. They're going to go get her. And he was like, we have to go get her, right? And Dane's like, no.
Like
wrong.
she doesn't belong
She's
to
not
us.
coming back. Like, we don't even know this person.
She hates me. She has her life back. She's not coming back.
I should not have done this to you kids. I'm sorry.
So back to the yacht where Grant is drinking and holding his big shell.
Right.
And Joanna comes in, seeing him
She's
talking
doing
to his shell.
shooters with the fucking
Yeah, she goes
staff.
back down to do shots with the crew.
She goes down to talk to Andrew and she apologizes because he says something about her losing her earrings and how she sent him on this ridiculous errand.
And she's like, oh, I
I've been-
behaved so badly.
I've been bad, haven't I? Like, I'm really sorry that I did that to you. And he's like, no, apology accepted.
And this is again where I got a little tear in
I
my
know, I
eye
was
when
like,
she
that's
was like,
did you see that Roddy McDowell was the executive producer on this
I did
film?
not.
He was.
Interesting.
I love a little Roddy McDowell.
Totally.
I do.
So he's like, but you're so lucky. You got to see life from an
Right.
entirely new
You
perspective.
escaped the box and you got a whole new perspective, and it's up to you
To how you choose
what
to
you
use that
do with
information.
that perspective.
So she's lying in bed awake next to her mother with her little fucking mask, with her Pomeranian
sleeping
matching
with
sleep mask
Prince
on.
Valium, because when the boat pitches, when she does,
Because, yeah, she goes up to the wheel. She
It's
decides
so
she's
funny.
going home.
well, she goes to go find Nino, and Nino's on his fucking break, and she's like, "No, we gotta stop the yacht. We have to turn it around. I want to go back to the thing." And the guy down in the, because she's gotten cool with the crew,
Right.
with the shots.
So in the morning, Grant wakes up and is like, shit, the mountains are on the wrong side of the boat. What's happening?
And at this moment, well, Grant's like, "No, you're not doing any of this. This is fucking.
You're a
me. I'm
hillbilly
god out-"
harlot.
Right, I'm a god out at sea. Like, this is like a whole thing. And that's when she goes down and tells everybody, like, he's nutso.
Right. And the
You know,
boys,
whatever.
meanwhile, are back there.
Well,
And Dad
Dean
comes
goes-
down. It's
he's
Dr.
like, "It's
Death.
Dr. Death.
Let's go."
Get her.
So Billy's friends are going to help them in the Coast Guard. So the Coast Guard gives the boys a ride to chase the yacht.
It's like, I hope I don't get court-martialed for this.
Well,
Because
there's no procedures for pulling alongside another ship and telling a passenger you love them.
I know. Like, they're just, well, they're not doing anything else. And they do not neglect their duties. When we
So
come
yeah, they
to-
chase him down. She sees him off the back with her
Right.
binoculars and is all excited.
Right.
But they have to turn around because there's an actual emergency,
Right,
and
right.
everyone's
She's
like,
where are they going?
"What's happening?"
Like, why are they doing the thing? And he
And she
starts
realizes
yelling out,
that
like,
Grant left her.
"Katerina!" Right.
Before that, she
she's
realizes
"Hold on."
Grant left
He's
her.
like, I should have left you in that psycho ward.
living
She's
in
like, "Wait a
squalor
minute.
with that caveman or whatever.
How did you know that shit? You came and saw me," which she's a smart girl. She didn't once think about why I didn't for 2
Right?
months.
You didn't look for me in the last place you saw me or
For
other
2
surrounding
months.
ares.
You did
And
not
I was on the
once-
news.
Right? I mean, granted, it was that wake up. bitch
Granted.
down. Granted.
His name's Grant.
Granted. Herrmann.
So yeah, she goes and gets her macaroni necklace.
Oh, she pulls
They're
out
doing
her
the
ring
long
and the
honks back and forth.
Right.
And
And he's like, Katerina,
Arturo!
And he jumps off the back of the fucking boat.
and she jumps, but not without
Well,
a life
she-
jacket, ma'am.
Andrew was like, I will not let you jump without a life jacket because she goes in that gown.
He's all, madam, you really should play a little hard to get.
Come on now, at this point she's
Jumping
jumping
into
off
the
a boat.
ocean.
You need that adrenaline. Don't slow me down.
And this is where the Coast Guard is like, oh, now I got to turn
Man
around because everybody's
overboard.
overboard. So
Woman
this supersedes
overboard.
our emergency.
Man overboard is kissing woman overboard. The man shooting arrows because Grant shoots arrows at her and Andrew kicks him overboard. They say it many times. He's
It's
like,
a
it's a hell of a day
at sea, sir.
I say that shit all the time when like things happen. When shit is happening,
It's a hell of a
it's
day
a
at
hell of a
sea.
day at sea, sir. Which again, I don't belong in the ocean.
And Dean's like, I can't believe you gave up all that money for me. And she's like, oh, it's
all
my
mine.
money.
Yeah.
And he just passes out.
Oh, hun, whatever. He's like, did you tell them? And she's
The
like,
boys,
yeah.
yeah.
They're making out their Christmas list.
How do you spell Porsche? Oh my God. And now like, oh, and then, okay, before I get into this, so got me thinking though, what could I possibly give you that you don't already have?
A
Little girl. 5 kids?
You have the money.
I guess.
You have the money if that's what you want to do.
And then my after notes are, okay, so she wins every argument until the end of time, right? Because like
Oh,
you kidnapped
because
me
you
and tricked
kidnapped
me
me.
into
Yes.
right.
Yes.
And
yes.
also, but like, what was their life after this? She brought these hillbillies to like
Well, because, right.
the country club.
So they packed up all their bags.
Yes,
and
it was
moved
like Beverly Hillbillies.
Hills, that is. Swimming pools.
Movie stars. I watched the
which they
shit
are.
out of some fucking Beverly
I know.
Hillbillies.
I
as a
love
kid.
that movie. We should put that on the fucking list.
Oh my God. Oh, I can't even remember who was in the movie. Was
Leah
it
Thomas,
Ernest?
fucking Ernest.
Was the dad, right?
Her penis is hard to find.
So yeah, Overboard doomed us to think that really problematic crime
I know, because
relationships
when
were
they
also
came
very
together
sweet
in
and
the
romantic.
scene, I was like, oh my God. And what is it? I feel like Kurt Russell said, which is another movie that I love. This movie and Captain Ron, everybody has on their
Captain
boats.
Ron.
With
Yes.
also Martin Short.
That's right.
Martin Short.
I
is in
haven't watched
movie.
that in forever.
I love that movie. I am not for the sea. I don't know what the fuck. I love sea-bound movies, but I am not for the sea.
Sea-bound movies.
I am not for the sea.
Oh my God, we're gonna do a short that's a recreation of Bound, but it's sea bound. It's us being
instead of me
lesbians on the
making
sea.
I was gonna say, instead of me making out with Gina Gershon, I have to make out with the sea.
Old Greg.
No, I want to make out with fucking Gina Gershon.
Yeah, it would be better. Or Jennifer Tilly, really.
Yes, please.
I mean,
don't
or
mind-
Noel Fielding, but not him as
That's
Old Greg.
fine. That will also work, but I would like to be in a sandwich in the fucking Bound.
Yes,
I will be bound.
for sure.
Sure.
So we have a voicemail for the first time in forever.
For the first time in forever.
If you guys want to leave a voicemail,
You
it's
can.
702-720-3666. Doom. You can also send a text message.
You could. Like, no one's going to answer the phone. So
It
just
goes straight to voicemail.
It's not.
Don't panic.
No one's going to fight. It's cool.
We talked didn't we talk about turning off the voicemail sometimes and saying like we're live on the Doom line, but then we never did it
We'll never be live on the Doom line.
during a live.
Live on the
We
live
turn the fucking
Oh.
and we use the handheld phone
Now it's too late to say anything about it.
because now it's already been done. So who
But
knows
now-
if
but
we
we're
did
like
it or
in
not?
real time.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay. That's
Okay.
a possibility.
All right.
That's a possibility.
All right.
Stay
All
tuned
right.
for
Okay.
that. Stay tuned for
No,
that.
don't stay tuned for that. Stay tuned in the back times.
Yes. But if it works out in the back times, it'll also be in the future
that's true.
times.
That's also true.
We'll
That's
keep
also
doing it.
true.
We'll keep doing it. All right. Here's the voicemail.
Okay.
Hey there, this is Chris from Spoil My Movie podcast, and I'm calling in because I was actually today listening to the Cheech and Chong episode, which was really funny, but I wanted to call in about I'm a Cheerleader, and I'm so glad that somebody else remembers and enjoys this movie because I thought it was just me. And I don't know which one of you said it, but somebody said, if you liked Saved by the Bell, if you liked Saved, you'll like this movie. And I was like, yes, they're so totally the same. That's absolutely solid. And I would totally gush more about this movie, but I don't own a vagina, and it feels like I'd be crossing a line or something. But I really love your social media posts. It's like, where's Waldo? It's finding you guys in the background of these things. Or I guess, like, where's Wenda, which was Waldo's girlfriend, if you remember. So anyway, I've ranted enough. Later, Doomers.
Thank you. So yeah, if you guys didn't listen to our Cheech and Chong podcast, guess what happened? Let's just talk about it now.
Okay.
So we automatically, all these episodes get posted to YouTube because there's just a thing on YouTube where if you put your feed in, it just automatically posts your podcast. And we called our 420 special Cheech and Chong.
No,
not the Cheech and Chong 420 special.
Did
Because-
anybody think that Cheech and Chong was going to be there?
Because we
Somebody
covered
did.
multiple
Kevin did.
Cheech and Chong movies, and this dude on YouTube got real upset about that we called it a clickbaity title, and that we and like he wasn't specific. He didn't say he thought Cheech and Chong was going to be there, but he wrote a paragraph.
Well, that's how come I know it was unhinged, because anybody that spends a paragraph on fucking YouTube is
about how we're liars because the name of our episode was Cheech and Chong 420 special.
I'm a liar. I am a liar. I'll tear your mind out.
That's right. We're liars. And so if you guys really think, like, honestly, our Showgirls episode has 20,000 views on YouTube because
If
it's the
anybody was gonna
Showgirls
call
episode.
any episode a clickbait episode, that's it.
That would be the one
That's
and only.
it.
And it's not the title that's clickbaity,
Because
it's the
everybody
photo.
think there's titties.
It's
and
the
there's
photo.
No titties.
Because we use the her licking the pole photo, but with
Right.
us with the pasties over our shirts in front of it.
Right.
And so, yeah. And
it's
no one's ever
completely
said shit. No one's been like,
it's completely acceptable that people watch like 2 seconds of that and bail out. I'm fine with that. I think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious. And if it gets you to maybe click on something else
Sure,
on our
maybe.
channel, that's great.
Whatever. But this person's insane.
Yeah. So, like, just also know that if you leave hater comments on the internet, we know your screen name, and like we do live feeds, and like but that's probably just throwing fuel onto the fire.
I don't give a shit. You
This
can
dude
do whatever you
doesn't.
want. Say
That's
whatever
all
you want.
he wants is more
Although
attention.
what's fun about this is that this is the first time.
It's been almost 3 years at this point.
and
Where
for
we're
the
at
fir-
now, it's what, a
and for
couple
the
weeks
first
from 3
time For
years.
it to be so ridiculously weird.
And not even like I listened to your show and I hated it. Like I
No.
won't listen to your show because you lied to me in your title.
Right, like, and you never have and you never will. Like, I don't give a shit.
Well, and you're lost, bruv.
Right? Because
You were looking for audio only content, you said, and like we could have been
whatever. All
entertaining
I'm gonna do is
you.
yell in your fucking ear. That's it. That's all I'm gonna fucking do.
All right. We've gone actually super long on
this for,
Overboard.
like,
We've
a
gone overboard on Overboard.
Well, because it's late Mother's Day and we're mothers and we'll do whatever the fuck we want.
Well, and we're research assistant lists, which always,
that's true.
not always, but most times makes us go extra long.
We're free. We're not restrained.
We don't
do
have to
whatever we
worry about
want.
anybody having to drive home to anywhere far.
Well, not
so
like we're ever really restrained when we're here. We're not like
no, but
prisoners
like
to
they
that
both have to
shit.
drive further than you do
That's
to get
also
home.
true.
So
that's also true.
just trying to be respectful. That's all.
Just trying to respect the girl thing.
So yeah, leave us a message 702-720-DOOM. Follow us on Instagram at Doom Generation Pod. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/Doom Generation. And until next week.
We'll talk to you next week.
Later, Doomers.